The actual 7th grade shape that we're supposed to be practicing is circles. So triangles, trapezoids, and parallelograms were reviewed. Oh. What? No. Those were 6th grade things. The 7th grade learning target is all about circles. Yay! And this word called sector, which means part of a circle. So either a full circle or part of a circle is a sector. Does anybody want to write that down? It's in the learning target. Sector, part of a circle.
Where should we write it?
You can just write it right on the learning target. Right next to it. So you might remember we already did circumference, which was around. Thank you, Maddie. But area is how much on the inside of our circle.
Are we going to need to find circumference to find it?
No. I just rewrote the formula bigger because it's a little bit small. Circumference had 2 different formulas to pick from. One of them had R and one of them had D. Are you remembering this? Area only has R. R stands for radius. What's a radius?
Halfway the circle.
Halfway across. You only have a radius choice. You only have a radius choice. So what if they give you the diameter? How? Thank you, Preston. So we should probably write this down too. Diameter divided by 2 it's a bad spot, equals radius. We can only use radius for area. We can only use radius for area. So if they happen to give you diameter, you have to take that number divided by 2 before you can put it in there. Isma.
So it's the radius to the 2nd power times 3.42.
Yeah! Remember that decision was made that every 7th grader for pi was going to use 3.14? Because we can't use the full pi, it doesn't exist. So if we're going to estimate it, we're all going to estimate it the same way with 3.14. So I just wrote a lot of notes to myself. Did you?
Yes.
Here's another review question. What's first, exponents or multiplying?
Exponent.
So before we even use that 3.14, we're going to have to do radius squared.
Wouldn't that be 5 times? Oh, never mind.
That's a great question, Bryn. What would radius squared be?
I have to figure that out.
It would be radius times itself.
Right, radius times radius. So if we looked at our first box, great news, it's telling us the radius. So if my formula is pi r squared, r hops out, 6 hops in. This is your first box. Are you writing it?
So wouldn't it be 3.14 times 36?
Pi hops out, 3.14 hops in. And yes, Isabel, if we are doing radius squared first, which means radius times radius, 6 squared is now 36. times 3.14. It is a calculator day. Find one near you. Please don't use your phone. We're trying to keep those in our backpacks, right? Say it again, Santa. 113.04 is what Savannah got. What do we think? Got some thumbs up over here? Don't forget, we're trying to remember to label it with the square, miles, square feet, square centimeters, square whatever. So we're starting with this, just these basic circles. Second box. Find the area of a circle with a diameter 50. Allison.
50 divided by 2.
Nice! Before she does anything else, she saw the word diameter, and she's going to divide by 2. 25. Which is the
Radius.
R, radius. We're getting somewhere. So now my setup, R hops out. 25 hops in. 6 squared, I think people knew in their head. 25 squared is a little harder. Type that in first. 25 times 25, get a new number. So when I say set up the problem, this is setting up the problem. You're still writing stuff down and you're using your calculator to help you with the tough parts. Bryn, 3.14 times 625?
1,962.5. 1,962.5.
What do we think?
Inches squared.
Ooh, label, thank you.
And now you can do it.
Now what do we think? Are other people getting that? The third one's kind of a cool fun fact, actually. Does anybody have a really fancy walkie-talkie? Daddy, you do for the cabin?
Yeah.
You do?
My brother.
Do you call back to like the cabin from the boat?
We play hide and seek with them.
Actually, that sounds like amazing fun. So here's Maddie. She has her camping outfit on.
Oh, yeah.
Walkie-talkies only work in a certain radius from her. So if your cousins are there, right?
Yep.
So her cousin could be in any direction 4,000 feet away or whatever her walkie-talkie is good for, and it'll still work. But what happens if they're 4,050 feet away? No signal. So 4,000 is the radius. Be careful of the zeros on this one. Be careful of the zeros. Be careful of the zeros. There are a lot of them.
Oh my gosh.
I have to count how many zeros there are to start them.
Yep. Careful of the zeros. You're still writing your steps down, you're just using the calculator to help you with the math of the steps. $50 million, right?
Yeah, 240.
240,000? Thank you. That is a lot of square footage for hide and seek. Hopefully you don't go out of the radius and get lost. Bryn?
Our school's like way farther, I think.
Oh, nice. Maybe you can report back to us.
Because we have like 9 acres of land.
That sounds awesome. Okay, the next couple things we're gonna go out of order. And will you draw a line here to give yourself 2 more boxes?
How do you color this? Oopsie. Gotta write my down.
Because this one is not on there, so you can use this bottom box for this pizza problem. So Domino's has a deal. You can get 1 large for $12 or 2 mediums for $12. You are trying to figure out which will give you the most pizza.
Why can't I smell pizza?
Can you see how the area, not the area, they're showing you all the way across, which would be the diameter. Do we want diameter for this?
No.
No. So in the medium it says is 12 inches across. We should use 6. Are you ready? So basically you have 2 smaller circles and 1 bigger circle. For the large, it says 18 inches. Should I use 18?
No.
No. Use 9. After you set it up, then you grab your calculator. I'm trying to decide, should I be getting 2 smaller pizzas for $12? Or 1 bigger pizza for $12?
Is it for one person or one person?
It's probably going to be a friend or 2 to share it with, probably. Weston's maybe sharing with his brother.
Are we gonna have to do like area per like dollar or something?
Whoa, we totally could, Isabel. That sounds like fun.
There's a YouTube channel called Food Theory that like measures food and they do stuff like that.
That sounds like a great YouTube channel.
My mom hates it or something. I don't think she likes it.
So for the bigger pizza, I should have got 3.14 times 81. Pete?
454.34.
Thank you. That is a lot of delicious cheese. Thank you. For the smaller one, 3.14 times 36. Allison?
114.04 feet squared.
That would be a big one. Speaking of, Drake, on Lake Vermilion somewhere, you can get a pizza that would probably feed your whole family. It's called a bamboozler.
Wait, what?
Have you heard of it, Drake?
If you go to New York, there's this one restaurant where you can get a milkshake that can come with your whole family.
Oh,
There's one in Florida that we always get that's like that big. It's super big.
you need to, I'm gonna find this place for you, so when you're up there eating ice
It's called
cream.
a bamboozer.
Bamboozler. Do you see anything happening though with this?
Yeah, these two of them, do you double it?
Ellie, amazing! Times 2, because there was 2 small ones.
No way. I have no three.
Okay, so now you're times it by 2?
One.
Still get the bigger pizza.
Is that O?
I did not see this coming. Did you see this coming?
No.
I thought for sure the 2 mediums would be bigger.
Were we supposed to do this in one box or both of them?
I did. One of them would be better.
That's fine. I used two because there's a lot of stuff.
If you still have room, I hope you do, for my next food item.
I hate them.
The extra box is on the bottom.
I hate the filled ones. Okay, let's do the filled ones.
So, donuts, if you still have room on the bottom, squeeze it in there, I guess. I'll draw the picture bigger for you.
Why are we all out there?
A donut, the regular donut, not filled with anything, has a circle in the middle. Which actually now we have 2 circles, right? A big one and a little one. Very similar to Thursday when we had a big square and a little square. Do you remember what we did? Subtract. So now we're gonna have to do big circle, little circle,
Add.
What?
subtract. What's the radius of my big circle?
No.
Bryn,
Yes.
what's the radius of my big circle?
597.
8?
Oh, yeah. Ren, why are you squinting your eyes so hard?
Savannah, what's the radius of the little circle?
Don't know.
It says
Five.
S.
Oh, that looks like an S. Sorry.
Yeah.
5.
So we are not we're not talking because we're so busy typing and trying to get some answers here.
This is a huge number. This was the round in the.
Double check your math. $64 times 3.14.
200.96.
Yep, 200.96. 25 times 3.14. 78.5. Maddie said we're going to subtract them. $122.46. It seems like a donut might be centimeters is the best choice I can think of.
I think it's meters.
Meters, that's gonna be a big donut.
I think it's yards. No, I think it's miles.
122.5, I estimated, centimeters squared of delicious donut goodness. Bryn,
I don't know what it's called, or the shop's called, but up towards St. Cloud, there's a donut shop, and you can get donuts that are like this big.
Clearwater Travel Plaza.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And that's where we go and we go.
Sure is good.
Uncle's cabin.
Okay, back to the boxes that were already there. This one looks like
Half a pizza.
Diameter.
half a pizza, half a donut, half a something. So there was a circle with a radius of
It's like a Pokemon ball.
19. Are you writing in this box?
Yes, ma'am.
$361 times 3.14.
1, 1, 3, 5, 6, 7.
But
Cut that in half.
cut that in half. And another way to say cut it in half.
Divide by 5.
Nice job.
I mean, divide by 2.
That's 0.77.
Centimeters squared.
I know I'm bouncing around a lot.
What is
Find the box with this shape. Mason, what are you going to do with this diameter?
Cut it in half to the radius.
So 16 divided by 2.
8.
If the entire circle was green,
Do a 4.
64 times 3.14. If the whole thing was green, would be 200.96. But the whole thing is not green. Divided by 4 is a fourth. Bryn,
Are we not going to do this one?
that's our last one. And the last one, maybe the trickiest one,
Isn't that 1/4 and 1/3 of them?
because it doesn't quite tell us, is it, no, it's not a half. Is it a third?
I think the 4.
Is it a fourth?
6?
Is it a fifth?
I think it looks
Not quite sure. But I do know that it started with a circle, right?
good.
With a radius of 5. Where'd this 6.28 come from?
It's up to the
Distractor, you get out of here. $3.14 times 25. Now here's where people get super excited because that answer is a choice. Again, it's a distractor hoping you pick it. Was there a full circle in the picture? Then we can't pick that. Now we actually have to use guess and check. It's a real strategy. What if you think it's a fourth?
Divide by 4.
What if you think it's a fifth?
Divide by 5.
What if you think it's a third?
Divide by 3.
Divide by 3. Pick one. Pick something. If that's not one of the choices, then pick another option. If divide by 3 didn't work, divide by 4. Divide by 4 doesn't work, divide by 5. Has to be something.
So is there a correct answer for this?
There is a correct answer because the other two that are left are not correct.
Oh, okay.
Right. So they couldn't leave it short answer without telling us exactly it's a fifth, it's a fourth, it's a third. But since it's multiple choice, they can kind of make us work for it, which they are. Anybody get a third? Anybody get a fourth?
No.
Anybody get a fifth?
Yeah.
Which one was it if you divide by 5?
15.7.
So it's kind of like 2 skills in one. Find the circle is one skill. Guess and check what you're going to divide by is the other skill. 2 skills in one test question.